Hi, I'm Doug Dedman, Chief Clarability Officer here at DBM. You've probably heard this before, maybe when you were implementing a new system or process in your company. We need executive ownership or this will fail. Well, I'm about to say the same thing about implementing S&OP. Without executive engagement and ownership, implementing S&OP will fail. Well, it may not entirely fail, but you'll wonder why it doesn't deliver results, or it gets mired in the details, or it doesn't provide any clarity of what's going on, or why does it eventually stop working? Well, let's look at why this is the case. Why does executive engagement and ownership really matter for S&OP? Well, first off, S&OP is an executive discipline. It's not just a planning exercise. The purpose of S&OP is to align your entire organization, sales, operation, finance, supply chain, around one plan. That alignment only happens when senior leaders are actively involved in decision making, not just sitting through a report out. Did you catch that? Executive is actually right in the definition. Secondly, ownership drives accountability. If executives don't own the process, it becomes a tactical meeting instead of a strategic one. Ownership means that they're driving decisions, setting priorities, and holding the organization accountable. So, in order to make that work, you need to focus on the end goal of the process, and that's the executive S&OP meeting. What does that look like? This is the meeting where you're expecting them to engage. A great executive S&OP meeting is short, focused, and decisive. In 60 to 90 minutes, you should cover everything in the business at the right level of granularity in order to put the plans together and be ready to execute. So how do you make that happen in your organization? Well, let me give you 7 starting points. First, treat S&OP as a management process, not a supply chain tool. Embed it into your monthly cadence. If meetings are constantly rescheduled or canceled, it signals low priority. Lock the schedule and make it non-negotiable. Number 2, educate everyone on the process, including your senior executives. Tracking engagement through education is a great way to get everyone on the same page and to provide leadership by example. Number 3, engage your executives in establishing accountability and responsibility in their organization. For them to own the process, they need a hand in defining who should be in the process. Who are they going to hold accountable? And more important, make sure that they get the expectations set. Number 4, prepare decision-ready data. Executives need confidence in the numbers. That means clear assumptions, tolerance bands for forecast accuracy, and visibility into demand and supply constraints. If the data isn't ready, the meeting becomes opinions and not a decision-making session. Number 5, use a standard format for presenting the S&OP data. Teach your executive how to read the standard format and provide the data ahead of time so they can be prepared when they come to the meeting. I recommend using the 5-section sheet. This will help them engage and hold people accountable. Number 6, use scorecards to measure participation and process health. Track whether meetings happen on time, whether the right people attend, and whether data is complete. This isn't about penalizing anyone, it's about shining a light on where the process needs improvement. And finally, number 7, start with the process, then move to effectiveness, and then results. Don't jump straight into inventory reduction. First, build a disciplined process, then improve forecast and supply predictability. Only then will you see sustainable results. Provide these measurements to your senior executive, review them with them, and determine corrective action. Specifically around the process measurements, engage them in the process of engaging the team. Executive ownership and engagement aren't optional. They are the price of admission for S&OP success. When leaders own the process, decisions get made, priorities are clear, and the organization moves forward together. If you want to make this happen in your business, book a Clarity Convo with us at dbmsys.com. Let's help you turn your S&OP process into a true competitive advantage. Thanks for watching today's video. Subscribe to our channel for more on implementing S&OP. You can learn more about how DBM can take your process to the next level by visiting our website, www.dbmsys.com. Thank you and take care.